Do you need to have read Project Hail Mary to see the film? Let's discuss. Attention all scary space monsters and leaky space blobs. We need to discuss one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and that is Project Hail Mary. The hard science apocalyptic book-to-film adaptation follows a former biologist turned science teacher played by Ryan Gosling, who embarks on a high-stakes mission of world-saving proportions. But who wrote the book? I hear you ask. No one, just an award-winning literary legend. One of, if not the outright greatest science fiction author of a generation. Project Hail Mary is the brainchild of Andy Weir. And if you don't recognise him by name, I guarantee you'll recognise him from some of his past work, like his 2017 novel Artemis, or even more notably, his 2011 novel The Martian that went on to be adapted into the 2015 film by the same name. A film that to this day actually is director Ridley Scott's highest grossing release ever, even beating Gladiator. That is insane. Andy Weir is known for his incredible ability to take creative liberties based on scientific facts that we know and transform them into fantastical heartstring playing stories we never saw coming. And for those of you who are thinking at this point, sci-fi really isn't my thing, I would urge you to still give this film a shot, because the science fiction of it all really is a fraction of what the story really is. It's about empathy and connection and so much more. How can someone create a story and anchor it so deeply into what it means to be a human being on this earth while being so far out of its orbit? It's incredible. I can't. But as with adaptations of any media, people do ask the question, do I need to have experienced its original form to see the movie? So let me settle that worry immediately and say, absolutely not. You do not need to have read the book. One, because of how the story is constructed, assuming this is going to be as faithful an adaptation as directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller have said it'll be, it's very no prior knowledge friendly. And two, because you have me. Because as of 3 days ago, as I'm filming this, I am a member of the I've Read the Book Club. Basically, me and my nerdy brain can give you all you need. First, I will keep it very vague and very spoiler-free for those of you who haven't read the book, and then I'll give you a wee heads up when you can expect a deeper dive into specific story details and some key points that I hope they don't change. As I've said, the story follows a science teacher on a mission to save the world. I will not even tell you his name because that is a fun plot point in itself. What I can tell you is, we begin the story in medias res with him as he wakes up with no memory of who he is, where he is, or what he's supposed to do. And slowly through hilarious inner dialogue, we regain those memories. I can't wait to see Ryan Gosling do this. There's this moment where he's like looking around and describing what he sees and recognises like test tubes, an 8,000 times microscope, an autoclave, a sub-millimeter 3D printer, and then he just suddenly stops and goes, why do I know what these things are? And that gets the ball rolling for him. So you see what I mean when I say you don't need to know what's going on because you learn with him. If anything, it's actually a wee bit meta being on the same page with him like that. Maybe not exactly the same way. I wouldn't advise having yourself placed into a coma to watch the film, but the similarity stands. It's very cool. But at this point, it's where it gets a wee bit tricky, because it's hard to discuss the story further without spoiling key components that really operate like dominoes in the book. One leads to the next, which leads to the next, and I want you to be able to enjoy that firsthand. So instead, allow me to persuade you further by nerding out about who is bringing this adventure to life. Adapting the book to a screenplay, we have the ever-talented Drew Goddard, who previously adapted The Martian to great success, and fun fact, he also directed Cabin in the Woods. I had to slip a horror fact in there somewhere, guys, don't look at me like that, okay? And our directors, Phil Lord and Chris Miller. The Jump Street films, Into and Across the Spider-Verse, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, come on, they are iconic. I will hear no different. Then you have the bonus that Andy Weir is a producer this time round, which he wasn't for The Martian. So he has more creative say, more creative control, which is always a positive in the case of an adaptation. Surely that's enough to persuade you. Well, in that case, off you pop and book your tickets, and me and my book readers are going to have a little quick chat for a minute. Are they gone? Are they all gone? Thank God for that, because, oh my dudes, I have so much to say and so little time. First of all, I am thrilled with how they've not given Rocky a face. I was really worried they were going to warp him into something entirely other than he's described, or not described, in the book. I'm also not emotionally ready for when Ryland, oh, it feels so good to be able to say his name, by the way. Also, tell me I'm not the only one who, when we found out his surname was Grace, went, haha, Hail Mary full of grace. Please tell me it wasn't just me. And if it was, lie to me. Thank you. Anyways, I'm not emotionally ready for when he fully remembers his other crew members. Every piece of the puzzle that he regained about them in the book made me emotional. The scene where he outright says the word crew is going to wipe me out, I guarantee. But my final thing is actually a question. I want them to keep the ending exactly the same. Where do you stand on that? Let me know in the comments. I'll respond to those of you who do. Just remember to try and keep it spoiler free if you can for those who want the film to be a surprise. But for now, until release day, treat yourself to another wee Cineopsis deep dive, or check out some podcasts if that is more your speed, and of course subscribe. Otherwise, I'll send Rocky after you and he'll get you where the sun don't shine. Oh, another plot reference. I am so embarrassing.